I'm sorry. Too zesty for you?
You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility.
Everybody's a jackass except for me and my monkey.
Yep, pretty much. Right, so, episode 46.
Big 4-6.
Cracking right along, baby.
Moving
doing
right
okay.
along.
Yeah, I think we're doing all right.
Not too bad. And if we only had somebody to listen, it'd be even better.
Yeah, well, you know, that'll happen eventually, I suppose. Maybe. You hear that, motherfuckers?
To dream
Tell us you're here.
the impossible dream. It could be the fact that we call them motherfuckers.
Well, you know...
But they wouldn't know that.
They need to prove that they ain't motherfuckers by saying, hey.
I is listening.
Yeah, and I would be happy with that. So, we're going to start off with Tony Isabella's little masturbation aid.
Dude, no.
1,000 comic books you must read. Which I was fortunate enough not to pay $30 goddamn dollars for. Because I'd have been mad. Because as a font of comics history, it's fabulous.
Well, here's my take on it, first off the bat.
But it's not $30 worth of fabulous.
You know what? If you want to write a book like this, and then make it only your personal choices.
Well, I mean, if you read the foreword, he said that that's what it was.
No, but I have no problem with you doing that, but then why are you charging a $30 hardcover for a personal remembrance of 1,000 comics you enjoyed?
It's
including a 5-issue Archie run, several episodes of Little Lulu.
There's a lot of that in here. I'm thinking Tony is getting a little too nostalgic in his old age.
I just don't. I think 1,000 comics, if it had been called 1,000 comics I think you should read, not 1,000 comics you must read.
That would have been more useful to people.
Well, you know, and part of it, you know, obviously he writes his own comics, therefore some of those are in there, which is fair. But how many issues of Black Lightning really require must reading?
No, I'm thinking one.
It's quite. I haven't read it, but
he's got some very interesting choices in here.
Did you see The Longbow Hunters?
No.
Did you see Dark Knight?
No. But I don't. He goes into everything. He says why and wherefores, and you know, I picked these items in this decade because. So I mean, it's got all the standards in here. It's got Detective 27 and Marvel #1 and Flash #1, Pep Comics #1. I'm not sure how we're supposed to read some of these things though, because some of these things have not been reprinted. Like Pep, you're not going to find a reprint of Pep in Ashcan form in the fucking quarter bin.
More than likely, no.
You're not. So how am I supposed to read Pep Comics with the Shield?
I read Web Comics The Shield, and that was not a must-read.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with that. All American.
No, it was Impact Comics. There was The Web. Was another one.
You know, he hits all the standardized beats that you would hope that he would hit.
Only elderly, though. Not elderly, aged, but, you know. Like,
not elderly.
Only the huge, early, iconic ones. You get into the later
Daredevil battles
years.
the Claw. Daredevil battles the Claw.
Yeah, well, that's actually the wrong Daredevil and the wrong Claw. For those of you who are like, Marvel, DC, what? No.
I would rather read this Claw than fucking the Avengers Claw. Because solid sound! Fuck you.
And for those of you who play Reverend Bingo,
Reverend Bingo!
Claw has now been taken off the cart. We should totally put that on the website. The various things
Reverend
that I
Bingo?
might bring up, and then you make your own bingo card.
That's a great idea. Look for it, kids. Daredevil battles Hitler. I guess the Three Musketeers was important, and you probably should read it regardless.
You should read the
fucking book. I know where.
Which I've read, by the way, and it's actually not a lot of fun. Well, you know, styles have changed some.
Well, you know, I was happy to see Sheena in there, but that was strictly for prurient interest.
Yeah, Sheena is not a must-read.
No, she really isn't. Joker comics, and it's not the Batman villain. Ho 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 ho, you're killing me. And it's just demons of some sort tickling this guy on the cover of this. No, I don't need to read that. Newsboy Legion, Our Gang with a buckwheat that would have been banned.
When's the last time you saw Our Gang or the Little Rascals on television?
Didn't they used to have them on Nick at Night a long time ago?
Yes, and now they're banned.
And you know what I noticed about Archie
Bill
comics?
Cosby bought them, I believe.
You know what I noticed about Archie comics?
Archie's a tool.
Besides Archie being a tool.
Reggie's a tool.
Besides Reggie being a tool.
I can go longer. I mean, really, I'm going to keep running with this theme, right?
Besides everyone in the book being tools.
Not Jughead.
Jughead's a complete tool. What are you talking about?
Anyway.
I actually like the art in the old ones much better than the sanitized Dan DeCarlo stuff.
No. I mean, the stylized comics Archie is definitely... It was a comic strip as opposed to a comic book, in a sense. It was just a longer variation on the same theme.
Well, either way.
But no,
I'm looking at this cover, and it's a whole lot better than any DeCarlo I've ever seen.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not a talent people build anymore.
Well,
the cartoony style.
It's cartoony. It's not that cartoony. I mean, old Veronica here is looking kind of...
Anyway.
Yeah, you'd expect to see Captain Marvel in here. I don't agree with Roy Rogers. There got to be...
Well, what's his argument?
It was the first Roy Rogers comic and the first Western comic with a photo cover. Although, why that's crucial, you got me. More violent than one expects from the King of the Cowboys, this 49-page thriller is notable for its blazing action, brutal villains, and gritty art. But we never get to see the art. But maybe all that's true, and maybe therefore it does have a place. But maybe it's on the top 2,500 you should read. Because who's going to get a copy of that? Where are you going to find a copy of that to read?
I'm unfamiliar with Roy Rogers memorabilia.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's from 1941 or 44, something in there. What the hell was it? 44. Yeah. So who's going to find a 70-year-old fucking comic to... No, nobody. Nobody. So let's skip the 40s. Except for My Date Comics.
Yeah, he really does seem to have a thing.
He's got a thing for the romance comics.
Yeah, there's a Millie Model in there, too, if I recall.
Yeah, there is.
And now, Susie the stenographer.
Erie I can understand. The spirit has to be there. But he's got like 17 different Santa Claus books, and I'm just not feeling that one. You know what I'm saying?
I have never read a Santa Claus book. Maybe they're incredibly necessary.
The spirit books, I'm down, sure. Archie, Ray Gill. See, I actually kind of like Ray Gill. Dan DeCarlo, he's, like I said, he's sanitized. I could do without him. Yeah, Tessie the Typist is what you were looking for. Let's get past the 40. Young Romance, come on. Girl comics.
You would totally
which looking at the cover is not what I was digging on. Crime and Punishment. Now, see, this one right here, I would definitely buy this. From 1950.
Yeah.
There's a hot redhead and a gun on it. It rhymes with lust.
Oh, dear God.
Which, what the hell could that be?
Bust.
Trust?
Must.
Schmust?
Schmust. Schmust comics.
Yeah. See, there's more Betty and Veronica, but it still looks better than DeCarlo. I'm going to be on that all fucking night.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Tales from the Crypt. Tonto? Do we really need Tonto? House of Mystery? Alright, sure. Frontline Combat, though. EC book, 52. I think that might be worth it.
Well, obviously there's some things worth reading in here. My just overall is that it's presented as one thing and it's actually something else.
Here's Howie. I'm sure that's something you don't want to hear.
Martin and Lewis comics, like, really? There's a must-read Jerry Martin comic.
Love Temptations. Although the bullet hole in the head for horrific number 3. That's that was just before things went to shit in 54.
There you go.
And I'm thinking it was a contributing factor, really. It's got a lot of Duck books in here. Not really down with the Duck. And I know you're a huge Disney apologist, but
I would really like to read more Carl Barks stuff. It's one of those things that you just hear amazing things about, but don't really come across.
Yeah, because he's
expensive
the good
treasuries.
Duck artist.
Well, that's Steve Gerber, obviously, but
what?
Howard the Duck.
Oh, that
He wrote it, actually.
He's got way too many fucking Caspers in here. Or America's Darling Dimwit, My Girl Pearl.
Yeah, this is...
Where are we going to find these books that we're supposed to read them?
You keep focusing on that point, and that point is not the major...
Well, if it's important that we read them, then we should be able to get our fucking hands on them, shouldn't we?
I don't think that's necessarily the case, though.
Well, otherwise we're just reading about somebody, telling us about them. But it says, 1,000 you must read. So, we should be reading them, obviously. House of Mystery. Caught. Way too much Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen in here, too.
Turtle Boy!
Jughead's Folly. Rip Hunter.
Jughead's Folly is one of the rarest comic books out there. Because of its weird Elvis Presley theme.
Is that what that said?
Mm-hmm.
Did that say that? Rare for the Times book-length tale.
Keep reading.
The extended spoof makes this issue a favorite of Elvis collectors, and as a result, it's going to be rarest to Archie comics. Yes, okay. Can't remember everything. What do you want from me? Now, Tintin. I'm sure you've read your share of Tintin.
I love Tintin.
I'm sure you do. But really, how am I going to get a Tintin from 1950?
Oh, they've been reprinted all the time. I have several in the room right now.
Are they?
Yep.
Well, you're just a better man than I am.
Well, that was a given.
Oh, you're a mean motherfucker.
Also, a given.
Well, and let's see. All the doofiest Batmans of the 50s and 60s.
Rawhide Kid.
Batman battling the Rainbow Creature. In 25 years of reading comics, I've read about the doofy stories that one can come across in mid-century Batman tales. And I've read my share of late-century and new-century Batman tales. And at one point, I had, the really super essential Batman shit from the 40s and stuff. And I'm here to tell you, Batman versus the Rainbow Creature is not a fucking must-read. It's not. It's not. And, Van McCoy, or whoever the fellow this is, and, who's this guy here? Anyway, the real McCoys?
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm the...
Walter Brennan.
Walter Brennan.
Think about, you got to remember your Good Morning Vietnam. He look good to me.
You get me picture those ankle? I give you my paw. You're a sick man, Jimmy. Thank you. The Flash, yeah, I can see the importance of the crossover by, Gardner Fox and Carmen Infantino, where Barry and Jay Garrick crossover. I can see that.
Well, that's a creation of Earth too.
I'm down. That's important. That's important. That should be read, so you can understand why everyone in the universe says that's fucking important. Strange Tales 89 with Fin Fang Foom. That might be fun. That's probably a lot of fun. But Fin Fang Foom is not a must-read. Too much Richie Rich in here, too. Boris Karloff had a book. It's amazing. Too much Dennis the Menace. I mean, this guy is just feeling all kinds of weirdness. Tony, what are we going to do with you?
All right, so if you're done reading the book...
I'm just flipping. I'm not reading. Detectives, Inc. A Remembrance of Threatening Green. I don't know what Threatening Green could possibly be, but...
Is it anything like Soylent Green?
You know, with our luck, it is. Beta Ray Bill is in here. Pariah's in here with Daredevil.
Mongol.
And the first person that can tell me anything useful about Mazing Man gets a free book. I'll give you a good book, too. But if you can tell me anything about Mazing Man from 1986...
I remember that book.
So do I.
I'm out of the...
But who the hell else knows anything about it? Absolutely no one. I'll bet I could walk up to Cabo. I said, Cabo, man, can you find me a copy of Mazing Man #1 from 1986? He'd look at me like, the fuck you talking about, man? He would not. If he remembered it, he would be. But there is one from that decade that I'm sure you agree with. I know you want everyone on the planet to read Ambush Bug.
Damn Skippy.
See? So he's not totally off on all counts.
Which one did he have in there? He had an ambush bug in there?
Yeah.
Which one?
Ambush Bug 1 through 4.
Nice.
1985. This
Damn, it's been that
intentionally
long.
silly character defies description and even what passes for reality in DC Universe. All he knows for sure is that every time he read one of these comic book misadventures, he laughed out loud, which is good enough for him. And me. I'm down.
Hey, Concrete makes an appearance.
Concrete was in there.
Weapon X.
Weapon X in Marvel Comics Presents. I don't think Deathlock 1 through 4 needed to be there, though. Really? I mean, I like Butch Geist and all, but From Hell, Prime. I wasn't,
Icon.
I wasn't impressed by Prime. The Tale of One Bad Rat, which I see in every single fucking quarter bin ever.
Brian Talbot. I had one of those.
Archie's Love Showdown Special.
Yeah, no.
With Cheryl.
Teagues.
No. Cheryl Cherry or some shit like that. I don't know. Astro City, Preacher, Stuck Rubber Baby, which no one can stop talking about even though it's 20 years old. Leave It to Chance, though.
Great
I like
book.
Leave It to
Great
Chance.
book.
Paul Smith did some good shit
And
with
James
Robinson on that. Transmet, Spider-Girl I could do without.
Didn't I give you an entire graphic novel of Spider-Girl that I found at Goodwill for $1?
Yeah, but it's never left the box. It's never left the box.
Wow, it's not even with the other graphics, huh? It's
Nope. Absolutely not. So, our conclusions on 1,000 comics you must read?
I just don't think it lived up to its name. I mean, that's a big
I'm
name to
thinking
live
not.
up to.
Must implies a whole hell of a lot.
And you buy a $30 hardcover, you're thinking you're getting an overview
whole lot
of comics.
more.
You're not thinking you're getting, these are my personal choices. I mean, everything is somebody's personal choices.
And it's only, I guess if you read the Amazon review, that's worse for people who just stumble across it in a bookstore. Because if you're buying it on Amazon or whatever, they're giving you the preface and they're giving you a full description of it, and it'll say right off the bat, hey, this is what this guy thought was the coolest.
How many parents are buying that for kids, for example? Like, oh, you're starting to get into comics. Here's a starter guide.
Yeah, with all the most expensive shit possible in it. Daddy, I want action #1. No.
Well, that one you can find a reprint of at least.
Yeah. You want to get stuck right into a stack then?
What do we got?
We got Secret Warriors 14.
Now, apparently, in Secret Warriors 13, Dr. Druid's son got kicked out of the group, which
Yes,
I
he
did not read.
Oops.
That was in the missing period. So it took me a second to figure that out.
Yeah, that wasn't a good time. But Nick explained it to Daisy and everything's hunky-dory.
I
Although
very
I'm
much
pretty
doubt
soon-
everything's hunky-dory.
I'm pretty sure Druid's son is going to come back all pissy and do something stupid.
Why'd he get kicked out?
Maybe join Hydra. Well, he wasn't developing fast enough for Nick, and oof, burpees. He wasn't developing fast enough for Nick, and he probably wasn't powerful enough either. But knowing Nick Fury, there's like 12 other reasons on top of that.
Well, let's be blunt here. Who the hell is like... I
It's
need
Nick-
a seriously powerful guy. Doesn't Dr. Druid have a son? What? No. Jackass? No.
It's insane, isn't it? And then, poor Viper gets the shit shot out of her. Wasn't happy with that. I like Viper.
Why?
What? Come on.
No. Because you're creepy.
Viper's hot. And then we see it's the...
But she's shot by an exact lookalike that dresses up like her, so it's not like you've lost anything.
No, that's the Contessa.
That's
Yeah.
a Contessa?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because the flashback, she meets Dugan. I mean, they're not going to have that many characters in one book that all have black hair and white streaks, you know?
I suppose that's
so
true.
It's the Contessa de Bora Matura Barriga Honmara. Whatever the fuck her name is. I thought they were going to end this soon, though.
The book?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. I just read that somewhere, I think.
Well, with the whole possible Avengers revamp coming up.
Now, who's this Orion fuck?
Which one?
At the end. This naked guy. Which is not my favorite thing to have to fucking say.
Orion? Maybe somebody from the old Steranko days?
Oh.
Is that Nick's kid by any chance?
Yeah, because it doesn't say a goddamn thing. Nope. Don't know. I wanted this to be more spy-ish. I really did. You know?
Hey, the whole Secret Warriors book, again, it's another example. No one is getting really a character developed.
Nope.
Phobos, you're young and frightening.
And
You're
I'm
really
going to
fast.
take you. And then, oh, hell with it. Go be with your pop in Olympus. What?
The evolution of the book is not my favorite. But I'm still intrigued by a lot of stuff going on in it.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite convoluted, which does make it engaging at points. But, anyway. So, you think Millar can catch lightning in a bottle twice in a row? 3 times. What was
Wanted.
the other one? Oh, Wanted, yeah. Yeah. I did like Wanted. But Nemesis makes Kick-Ass look like shit.
Well, that's just stupid.
Does it? I don't think it does.
It's an entirely different book, first off. Second off, what kind of jackass advertises something they've done by knocking something else they've done?
That's a very good question.
And I like Millar. But my point being, that's just bizarre. Kick-Ass was a phenomenal storyline. Wanted was also excellent, and Nemesis starts off very strong.
Strong?
Like, you can't say you're not
starts
intrigued.
off gross is what it starts off.
No more so than Kick-Ass.
Well, I suppose, but I mean, the scene with the bullet train here reminds me of that horrifyingly strange and just gross fucking Japanese movie, Suicide Club.
Never seen it.
Yeah, don't. The goddamn thing starts off with like a dozen teenage schoolgirls in the Tokyo subway jumping in front of a train.
Well, that's just strange.
And they get incredibly graphic about it. It's frightening. Who thinks up that shit? But, alright, so it starts strong with the train going off the tracks after smacking a guy.
Yeah, into a hotel.
Yeah. So is this guy a mercenary? What's his fucking point here?
He's the only supervillain in the world.
Because
there are no heroes or villains. There's just Nemesis. That's why he's going after cops.
To have something to do. He's just so fucking good. Crashes a plane. I'll give it another go.
I totally enjoyed it. The only thing I disliked about it, quite honestly, it's an intriguing start. It has a long way to go, but
quite a bit.
I thought it was excellent. My only issue, honestly, was that I didn't understand the advertising aspect of it.
Makes Kick-Ass look like shit. Yeah, how do you do that?
Do you like what I've done in the past?
Here's my newest book. I'm totally invalidating it now.
You won't enjoy this.
All this stupid shit.
You think Garth Ennis is sitting there like, did you enjoy it, Preacher? Then fuck you.
I don't need metaphysical anymore. Let's go back to the war shit.
Like, you don't see a stamp on a Neil Gaiman novel like, I write books now. Sandman was shitty and we both know it. It's just dumb. It's like D-U-M dumb.
D-U-M dumb. Irredeemable 10. Wow, it's been a long... This is already...
It's moving
already.
on.
10 already.
But think how impressive it is that they're getting these issues out.
Yeah, it is, actually. Wade and Krause have kept the schedule for once.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of books from other publishers that cannot do that. I like it. I'm impressed. I'm digging it. But what is this silly secret stuff? Well,
No, they're just advertising another book.
What?
You know,
advertising another book.
Oh, you're not talking about the one at the end?
No.
What are you
talking about Beta Noir's little secret there.
Who knows, man? The sudden demon showing up and ripping Gilgamesh.
What?
How do you pronounce it?
What the hell's the name? Gilgamesh?
No.
Gargamoth?
It's the angel character there.
Gilgabrad?
There you go. You got nothing.
That's not.
But you got a demon showing up. You've got his wings getting ripped off. You've got Bête Noire admitting that she's had sex
with Tony.
Yeah. And by the way, it's just so hard to associate Tony and the Plutonian. Really? Because Pluto didn't seem serious enough?
Get out of there, cat. You can't have that shit. Alright, there's 28 minutes. Edit out the cat. Yeah, the demon guy is kind of like... It doesn't even make you think of Deadpool.
No, it actually Despero was what came to mind because of the whole JLA feel.
Yeah, but he's too kind of flippant for Despero.
It depends on which period. But yeah, I can see where you're going.
There
But
was a flippant Despero?
Well, when Elrond was in charge.
What?
Don't you remember when Elrond's consciousness got zapped into Despero and he joined the Justice League? I can't even believe I have to say that.
No, I don't remember that. And having established that it happened, I don't want to.
That was the JLE breakdowns period.
Oh. Yes. The 12,000 part within series, as they used to call it.
Yep.
Before they decided, no, it's a story arc.
That was the complete and utter end of those books for me. Suddenly Tasmanian Devil's a member. And
you know, this whole backstory for Tony is really creepy.
The whole book is creepy.
Well, no, there's you, and there's holy shit. His backstory is just flat out creepy. You know, his foster parents are like, we're scared shitless of him. We don't know what to do. And then in fucking 11, how cold do you have to be? I mean, I know it says irredeemable.
Yeah.
But in 11, how cold do you have to be to leave your foster, adoptive, retard brother sitting there starving at the dinner table after you've killed the parents?
Haven't read 11.
Yeah, you have.
Shit. Well, that's a little spoiler for you. Well, we
This
are
is
a
a
spoiler
spoiler
podcast,
podcast.
you douchebag.
I didn't know what was going on. Incorruptible, 2, 3, and 4.
All right, before we get into specifics,
Good enough companion?
it's a solid book. As a character, he's evolving interestingly, although over the top. We've already discussed at least 2 at one point.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not loving the backup characters. The whole
I
villain
don't
in the
care
world
about
thing is
them.
intriguing, but his complete personality change is throwing me off.
There's got to be a little backstory to build that back up again. Because you're right. I mean, that's a hell of a gear change. Well, there's no one else that can fucking deal with him, so I guess I have to be a paragon.
The fact that he's got this virus that can destroy the entire world and he throws it in the police officer's nightstand, you know, like,
yeah.
there's some very random, odd things going on. And his sidekick, Jailbait, the less said the better, really.
Yeah, why doesn't he just get rid of her? I mean, is he going to wait 2 more years and then everything will be fine? I've waited the 2 years. It doesn't get fine. You were not expecting that, were you?
I was
Rev?
not expecting that.
It's because it was a lie.
We can only hope.
Oh, you'd have known. But I was kind of disappointed by the whole Jailbait hides in the back of the car routine. You know, it's like, just follow him. I mean, but robots, I like giant robots.
Yes, you do.
There's plenty to be said for giant robots. Although flailing around with a rocket-powered arm gripping someone's fucking neck is not... I wasn't so sure about that myself. And then she gets pissy and runs away. So, you know, straighten somebody out pretty soon, okay? Thanks. See you later.
No, it's a solid book. I'm intrigued by where it's going. I just don't entirely like it. Like, in no way is it as impressive as Irredeemable, where I was like, holy crap, from issue 1.
Yeah. But it's a good enough companion piece. I was wondering how long it'll take him to actually finally get the 2 of them together and actually do something about it.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, but I've already bought the first graphic for Irredeemable. Will I buy Incorrgible?
Incorruptible.
I like Incorruptible. That's it. See, that'll be the 3rd book. About Chubby, the pesky sidekick who's forced to be a hero in a world without heroes.
Or by then, villains.
There you go.
Trapped in a world he never made. No one to kick for.
Poor Chubby.
He's like a depressed Woozy Winks.
Aren't we all like a depressed Woozy Winks?
I'm a happy Woozy Winks. I'm still a Woozy Winks.
There you go.
Woozy
More of a
Winks.
Tony.
Who the hell else would talk about Woozy Winks, kids? Nobody but us. Come on. How can you not listen to this?
How can you not? Because they don't know who the hell... Woozy Winks, by the way, was the sadly alcoholic and inept sidekick of Plastic Man back in the classic days. When you think about characters that are not missed, Woozy Winks
is in the top 5. 3?
Yeah,
Nobody cares about poor Woozy.
He's nowhere near as bad as... God, what was his name? There was a 40s hero, Mr. America or something, like the New York vigilante with his sidekick Fat Man with a broom and basically a bucket on his head.
No, surely not. Why wasn't that in Tony Isabella's book? Come on. That would have been perfect. That's clearly an important fucking piece.
Well, hey, he was actually a major part of James Robinson and Paul Smith's The Golden Age miniseries.
Yeah?
Yeah. Which is a great read.
That.
Love that book.
All right, well, you'll have to hand it over then. Now, I've been waiting for this ever since I saw Do You Want to Date My Avatar 3 months
dear
ago.
God.
The adaptation that I can take to the bathroom of The Guild.
Oy vey.
Oh, come on. Felicia Day's so incredibly fucking cute.
She's a cute girl. I actually, despite my better instincts, totally enjoyed The Guild. The series.
Yeah.
The book, however, is
the backstory to it. It's the initial run of, how poor Sid got to be a shut-in.
how the entire guild came to meet.
Yeah. Poor Sid. He had a promising career and then learned how to cope with crippling depression and the loss of a boyfriend in the, how shall I say...
Worst way possible.
Yes. That's what I was looking for. In a...
Online video gaming.
Online video game that's a thinly veiled representation of World of Warcraft. Or EverQuest. Yeah, you could call it EverQuest, but there's a couple of things in there that really point to it being wow.
As a diehard avoider of both.
I do like her dialogue, though.
No, it's a funny book. It's intriguing. I just felt the development, like, just playing the whole, romantic loser aspect to the biggest degree possible. It's not a subtle series, so it's an even less subtle comic book.
Yeah, dude, who needs subtle? Fine, you want subtle, you go to fucking Gaiman or somebody.
I suppose that's true.
You certainly don't go to Ennis.
Occasionally.
But maybe I'm just caught up, and there's nothing I can do because I just love the Guild.
Are they doing a third series then?
I fucking hope so. I gotta see that shit. But you see her going through her goth and hippie and Run DMC phases. That's funny to me. I expected the goth. I expected the hippie. But looking like fucking JMJ on that panel.
Inconceivable!
That amused me to great lengths.
No, there was definitely some funny stuff in it.
I'll be getting the rest of them. I don't care. It's funny how she makes it, just an idealized version of herself. Which most people might do, maybe. My paladin, Antioch on Blade Fist, thank you very much. Come by, we'll do a couple of quests.
Antioch's on Blade Fist? That sounds horribly...
The character is named Antioch, and he resides on the server called Blade Fist.
Blade Fist.
Is named after an orc general.
Fist Blade.
No, man. Blade Fist.
Space Frog.
Space Frog. Wrong game, man. That was Galaxies.
I love how you laugh about it now, but your hatred of my use of the term Space Frog back in the day.
You and your fucking Wookiee love. This couldn't have gotten more reverse. I got the new expansion. What's it called? Rage of the Wookiees. So, you getting in on some Wookiee love? Fuck you, Rev.
It's nothing like taking the joy out of somebody's new purchase in 30 seconds or less.
Nothing like punching your best friend in the nose. Which I promise to do someday, seriously.
Oh, good.
I was quite pleased with the squirrel getting its head shot off by the arrow as well. What? You're supposed to kill things? How else do you gain XP? But you killed it! Dying sucks. And the pinup in the back is pretty funny.
Didn't even notice that.
I like that. I'm a big fan of the pinup.
Let me see. I honestly never even saw it.
Yeah, take a look at the pinup.
And then got to the end of the book and stopped. How silly of me.
Oh, well, you know, there's more pages. You should have gone. The hell else would you do?
There you go.
So, having established that there is at least one humor book that's worthwhile, let's talk about another humor book
Oh, dear God.
with another woman in it. The one shot for Hulk-Sensation.
Oh, dear Christ.
Sensational. Excuse me. I don't know what you have against She-Hulk.
I liked 8 issues that John Byrne did in the beginning, and after that, I've never seen a point. And no.
Did you read the one where she was caught sunbathing
No.
with the sleazy magazine publisher who looked suspiciously like Stan Lee on the cover?
No, I don't believe so.
Some paparazzi was flying around in a helicopter over to Baxter Building, saw her nude sunbathing, snapped a few shots. She spends the entire issue, you know, hunting him down and then hunting the publisher down. And on the cover, the like I said, the publisher looks suspiciously like Stan Lee, and he's like, "Hey kids, what's 6'6" green and has a staple in her navel?"
Dear Lord. No, I did not read that.
But you know, the She-Hulk story that's a riff on A Christmas Carol. Come on, that was fun. How'd you not like that?
It was pretty easy. No, it is what it is. But She-Hulk is constantly changing. Like, you know, is she breaking down the fourth wall? Is she this? Is she that? Like, they're putting this out, but at the same time, she's in the middle of the Hulk storyline.
See, I don't mind that. I don't. In her own book, if you want it to be a humor book, fuck it. Have a humor book. Nobody cared when they laughed at Batman in JLI and then saw his back broken in fucking...
Was it at the same time?
No, well, I mean, it was...
That wasn't even close.
It was within a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
He was... Hey, come on. JLA, from the first issue, was played up as a humor book.
Right.
And they had Batman in it. The least humorous person in the fucking DC universe. But he had his own set of books where he did his grim and gritty thing, and he did JLA where he was taciturn, but you could laugh. Nice separation, no big deal. Nobody
you didn't think
cared.
it was kind of strange when they released Thank God It's Not Justice League
And
at the same time,
Batman?
and they had jolly old Max Lord. At the same time, Maxwell Lord was getting his neck snapped by Wonder Woman.
They were separate. Obviously, I can't believe it's not the Justice League was not in continuity. You think? Maybe?
Hey, I'm just saying. I believe they covered that with the all this happened long ago.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but really, the Mistro, I was kind of like, okay.
What?
The Mistro. We're back to the She-Hulk.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. No.
I mean, really? We're dipping into that well again? A female version of the Maestro? Seriously? I don't mind Peter David.
Okay.
I don't know what it is with you and Peter David that you're so blah.
Oh, well, the only book I really enjoyed him on was The Hulk, and he did his level-headed best to destroy that for me at the end.
Oh, wait, well, at the end,
Yeah.
Well, he was just filling out a contract at the end because, you know, they wanted him to do stupid shit. You know, they're like, we want to do the dumb Hulk again. And, you know, he had publicly said, I have no interest in doing dumb Hulk. So he was just filling out a contract at that point. So, fuck it. What are you going to do? Are you going to take directives saying, you know, doing something you really don't want to do? or are you just going to phone it in until it's all over?
So you're arguing for doing a crappy job when you don't want to do something that you're contracted to do.
You're being pressured. Who wants to do that shit? Fuck it. Take off.
That is not how you've worked a day in your life.
I'm not a comics writer.
Oh, okay. So this is only an acceptable argument if you write comic books.
It's all about the creativity.
I'm going to smack
There's
you with
an
a fish.
artistic fucking ethic to go through.
There's a do-your-job ethic to go through.
Oh, I did like the first story, but the rest of them, well, actually the second one too, with Miss Marvel and Spider-Woman, especially when Spider-Woman is all in ripped clothes.
And then the John Byrne reprint.
Yeah. See, I don't. We need more humor books, man.
I'll give you that. I just don't feel that this was humorous, for lack of a better term.
I laughed a couple of times, and I grinned. And although...
Would you buy this book regularly?
Not at $5.
But if it came out to the level that you're reading in here, you'd buy a She-Hulk humor book.
Sure.
Okay.
I like humor books. But the John Byrne splash panels with her naked jumping rope, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was amusing. But that was from the John Byrne run back in the day.
Yes, that is a reprint. We understand this.
And it also involves US-1 space trucking.
And how pleased were you with that?
Well, sure.
See? It wasn't a complete fucking loss, was it?
US-1 and his friend Al the alien.
Sure.
Yeah, I've already read that, though.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Now we'll go to the opposite end of the spectrum on something that was made for laughs and something that has just now become laughable. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I think I'm going to end Justice League of America. I'm sorry, Mr. Robinson and Mr. Bagley, but as much as I appreciate the art and as much as I've appreciated previous works by Mr. Robinson, one we discussed earlier, Leave It to Chance, being, pretty much my top Robinson thing.
Starman all the way.
That's all yours, man. It's holding, the current JLA incarnation is holding absolutely nothing for me.
Which is intriguing because they got rid of all the characters you hated.
Yeah,
and then you enjoy the book even less. That's just interesting.
They got GA being a complete fucking douche. And he's always been a jerk, but he hasn't always been a vengeance-seeking douche who actually has killed people. When was the last time you saw him kill anybody?
Well, back in the Mike Grell run, he killed a couple of people. Then they took that with the whole Kevin Smith revamp. They took that out of the equation.
Yeah, so they retconned that.
And now they brought it back to him killing people again.
Yeah, this ought to be it has been an incredibly rare occurrence. But this is something that GA should be a whole lot more reticent about and a whole lot more recalcitrant about. Ooh. You didn't expect some big fucking words.
No, I
Unfortunately, they both started with re, and so it lessened the impact of the... He should be racked with all kinds of fucking guilt instead of just getting ready to kill more in his righteous anger.
Well, I mean, they just destroyed his city. They just lopped the arm off his adopted son. You didn't have a problem when Green Lantern went nuts when they destroyed his city.
Oh, I completely had a problem with that. What are you talking about? You don't have a very good memory right now, do you?
You enjoyed Emerald Dawn.
I enjoyed it. I didn't say that it was proper at any point. It was as every last bit as out of character for GL to do it as GA. Yeah, well, so what? I mean, and then there's another parallel. I mean, didn't we already see this happen?
True.
Didn't we go through this at one point already? Let's blow up a city and make a hero mad enough to do something so far out of character it's going to shock everybody.
Well, I mean, They're planning. Biggie said they're planning something dark and big for GA, and obviously this is the build-up to it. Am I a big fan of that? No, I was enjoying the lighter Black Canary GA book till they destroyed it.
Yeah, I was fine with that one. I enjoyed that quite a bit. But here's another one you enjoy. I know you like this one. You've told me you enjoyed it. And we're cracking right along, and there can't be too many left. Although, I wish they'd tell us when something is a miniseries or not. Are you still enjoying Victorian Undead?
Yes, I think it has a light tone. I think they carry the Sherlock Holmes and the Watson characters well. The Moriarty zombies intriguing. Like, everything is being done well in it.
The Moriarty zombie. That's such a great phrase to be able to say.
No, it's absolutely a fun book. My only thing is you have to like zombies, obviously, and basically Sherlock Holmes.
In Victorian England.
It's not just a book you can grab and be like, hey, here's a new comic.
Well, I mean,
it's very chatty. Almost nothing happens in the book.
Chatty.
There's little to no action.
Actually, here in 5, there's quite a bit of battle. So stuff does happen.
Yeah, but it's
and
more,
then there's
a
the
lot of it's
reveal
off screen.
And then there's the reveal, you know, at the end.
Which one?
What's his face there? This guy, you know, Moriarty. And then in 6,
they'd already revealed him before.
Well, then why does he look normal in here? What are we doing? At any rate, it's a great book. I dig it.
It's a lot of fun. And if they do a graphic, I will pick it up. It's an excellent read.
And it's only $2.99.
Yeah.
It's a big bonus. What?
Only $2.
Yeah, it's a fucking horrifying thing to say, isn't it? I started at 75 fucking cents, kids. And I know that a lot of people will say, well, I started at a quota. I don't give a shit. I started at 75 cents.
Most people start at a quarter, are probably not listening to a podcast.
Particularly not this one.
Yeah.
Well, back to humor.
Uh-oh.
Power Girl, number 10. Are you still down on the Power Girl?
No, it's improved slightly for me.
Well, you're going to hate this then.
It's ending?
No, it's not ending. They're switching teams. They're already switching teams. They're going to go a year, and they're going to swap them out.
To who?
I don't remember. But Connor is not going to be with it, and that is going to make me want to, 75% drop it right there.
You do enjoy her art.
She's a great artist. Everybody says it, and I'm down with it, but the expressions alone make me giggle.
No, she has a nice touch for a light humor book.
Yeah. Although it didn't really work on Tara.
Nothing works on Tara. That's why they keep killing her off and bringing her back.
Yeah. And the Ultra Humanite coming back again in Tara's body. Come on.
Thank you for saying it correctly.
Yes, well. That I could have dealt without. They're 10 issues in. They're already going back to the first arc for ideas. That kind of annoyed me a bit.
There's still been no evolution on her life outside of being Power Girl.
Very little. Very little. It's been there, but it's totaled about 12 pages over 10 issues. So that's not good.
Just not a subtle book.
No.
But you know what? I mean...
But I laugh!
Yeah, particularly the alien dude coming to impregnate.
That was fucking hilarious.
That was the highlight of this book for me, sadly.
And they could have moved on and gotten somewhere with it, but they went back to the well with a revisit of the first arc, and that irritated me. Did you care about Hercules, Fall of an Avenger? It's just one 36-page fucking eulogy.
It was pretty unnecessary. I will say, finding out that, Hercules and Thor slept with frost giants was creepy. A bunch of heroines talking about how good a bang Hercules was creepier. The number of women living in Hercules apartments throughout the world was creepy.
But Snowbird in particular, I didn't expect her to show up as someone who had banged Herc.
I never expect Snowbird to show up, period.
I mean, that did amuse me greatly. But otherwise, it was just...
And possibly North Star.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is Greek. I mean, what are you going to do? But, did you even read the backup?
Which one was it?
The backup where
Agents of Atlas?
Yeah, where they go running around trying to find, beneficiaries for him.
Did no enjoyment of the Agents of Atlas.
Nah, I don't care about it either.
They're hurting the Herc book for me.
Yeah, they got to get back to the funny on that. They got to get back to the funny. It's awfully, awfully late. But the end of Kick-Ass, issue number 8, when Titans pimp slap. Now, you haven't seen the movie yet.
Nope.
I, however, saw it just 3 days ago. And I was thoroughly impressed with everything I saw. Fuck yeah, I overall enjoyed it.
Okay.
I laughed my ass off. There's going to be quite a few people getting very mad about the things coming out of that little girl's mouth. Let me give you a sample.
Yeah, what do you got?
Without spoiling anything.
I have read the comic. I mean, there's not a lot of...
How will I get in touch with you guys? Oh, you just call the mayor's office. He's got a signal. It's a big spotlight on the roof of City Hall in the shape of a cock. The first thing out of her mouth when she shows up is, all right, which one of you cunts is next? I laughed terribly with that.
Well, I'll bet.
But for the most part, I think the book was better than... Now, I hate to say it. I really do.
The book was better than the movie?
The book was better than the movie.
Really?
Not in the action. It's fucking clobbering time. I would have fallen out of my fucking seat if I had heard that 11-year-old say that. I'd have loved that all the hell and gone. But she never did say it. And the Red Mist thing was a little different. A little different. They didn't change all that much. The imaginativeness of the action and the deaths were carried over quite well from issue 8 to the climax of the movie. I appreciated that.
Very nice.
And but we're focusing on the book here. They forgot the tenderizer. They changed the whole torture scene.
Well, sure.
But
it's kind of hard to put electrodes on a underage kid's nuts on screen and not get a triple X rating.
But I'll tell you the truth. I did appreciate Nick Cage dying the way he did in the movie more than the just simple, basic way Big Daddy died in the book.
Okay. I don't know.
It was more satisfying to me because of my hatred for Nick Cage.
Well, that's all because of Ghost Rider and naming his kid Kal-El.
No, I didn't even fucking bother with Ghost Rider. I don't care about Ghost Rider. It's got nothing to do with Ghost Rider.
Eventually, you have to watch it.
I don't. Why?
That was the agreement.
Shit, that's right.
All right, kids. For those of you that don't know, part of the agreement to getting me on the podcast was that the Tech Jedi would eventually build a collection on DVD of every geek film comic base that he could, including such luminaries as Catwoman and Ghost Rider.
And I would have to suffer through them, just so you know, so that I could actually speak of them. Now, I've gotten off lucky in past months, where for the most part, we've been recording to decent geek movies. For example, right now, the first Transformers live action is on, and You may have noticed some pauses here and there, and that's when Megan Fox is bending over.
But yes, eventually
we'll be doing a companion series, or just extra podcasts of. We're undecided, as a matter of fact. It might be our version of MST3K, or it might be, pause, talk about this scene. What the fuck were they thinking with this scene? Let me tell you about this fucking scene right here. This scene, first, blah, 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 would never, blah, blah, blah.
But that was the agreement.
That was the agreement.
So eventually you will own.
I gotta abide by it. I am going to find them used, though.
Totally understandable.
No shrink wrap on the motherfuckers I'm getting.
No, you don't feel like Ghost Rider is worth a full $25?
Absolutely not.
You're not going to have the Blu-ray Catwoman?
I'm not even getting Blu-ray. I'm not even touching a Blu-ray anything until Star Wars comes out.
Electra?
No.
Laserdisc?
You know what? I might pay for a Laserdisc. Because those things will be about 30 cents. But, I wish Radical Comics would, think up something a little newer, and a little more original. Mm-hmm. Because Legends, the Enchanted, with just twisting up more fairy tales like Xenoscope does, is just irritating. I mean, it was $1, so I figured, fucking buck. What are you gonna do? It's a buck. It's a fucking buck. It's a fucking buck. That's what I figured in my head. Fucking buck. And it was not. I'm not really down with even $1. I do like the art. It is sufficiently gory. It is sufficiently detailed. Even though it's got a slightly airbrushed tone to it that reminds me of the mid-'80s somehow.
Simon Bisley.
Yeah. And it is gory, and I don't mind gore as long as it's, gore in the movies irritates me, because I don't like to see things, it's the sounds, really. when someone gets eviscerated and you hear that, I can't stand that, I hate that. But, just looking at somebody with their stomach split open in a comic, I don't mind so much. There's no sound. I don't have to imagine a sound. But, Little Red Riding Hood saving this guy's life because she's a badass. This is nothing, no new ground there. There's
I just
no
hate it.
twist to it.
Just to save time, that is not my idea of a good time.
No, it's not. And, I've made plenty of bad decisions buying books. I was lucky to get off with it only being $1 this time.
There you
go. What do we think of Spider-Man these days?
Gauntlet is losing some steam for me.
Yeah, it's lost a lot of steam. I thought it was going to build, and instead it got boring.
It seems to be as much about Peter Parker's relationships as anything else.
And which is something you liked for a while there.
I like aspects of it, but the fact that the dude's got 5 women, whatever,
it's becoming overriding now, and it's taking away from the fun action that you really want to expect from a Spider-Man.
He's feuding with his aunt because she's been possessed by the Chinese gang lord, Mr. Negative.
Which is just freaking weird.
He's feuding with his roommate, and he's helping her escape It's just, come on. Why are you...
Just have him punch somebody, please.
This is, occasionally in life, I find that I really miss single-issue storylines.
Yeah, done-in-ones are fucking awesome. I love done-in-ones. You got a setup, you got a plot. The only things that happen in it move forward the story to begin with. Boom. You might have a panel or two here and there that reveals something that might happen in the future, or clarifies something that happened in the past, or, for God's sake, if you're Claremont, all 3 at the same fucking time, but then you never get any payoff later. But
the Fabulous Frogman.
But here's the story. It develops this way. Here's our denouement. We're good. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Fabulous Frogman, I'm telling you.
I don't mind arcs. Arcs are fine.
No, I actually enjoy
think
it.
the arcs
I mean,
are getting a little too long, though. Not every last fucking story has to be 6 full issues.
well, it feels like every single issue these days is some sort of filler.
Yeah, that
Like
too.
you just lent me my first experience with Ultimate X-Men,
Yeah.
and Bendis and Finch had that one issue with the kid who finds out he's a mutant, and
Yeah.
Wolverine has to put him down because this mutant power actually makes people dissolve just
Yep.
by being near them.
Yep.
And that was a really great single issue. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the X-Men. Don't care about Wolverine. So I wasn't enthralled, like, would I
Yeah.
go out and buy that because of that one? But, it was a single issue storyline that I was intrigued by. It brought up a aspect of mutants that I'd never really considered. It didn't feel like a filler issue, shall we say.
No, it didn't. Wow, how did we get so far behind on fucking Blackest Night?
Well, some of them we've read and we were saving,
49, 50, 51, and 52. Wow. We're behind.
Yeah. And you didn't bring me 7 of Blackest Night, so I went from 6 to 8.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Ugh. I can't be right on all the time, for God's sake.
That's true. Well, it's over. We can start with
It's
that.
done.
Blackest Night is finally done. Payoff?
I didn't think... I don't know why it never occurred to me. It should have been obvious in some aspects. Why wouldn't I have thought that Sinestro would be the White Lantern?
Why would you?
Because he's the greatest Green Lantern, and it would have been way too obvious to make it Hal. I mean, come on. Some people were thinking, well, of course it's going to be Hal. It's his fucking book. He's the White Lantern. And some people thought, well, maybe it's Dove because she's white.
Kyle?
Kyle.
They haven't done a ton with him?
Kyle was too busy being
Dead.
not Ion, and dead. So I didn't really expect Sinestro, which was all right. But then they fuck it all up and say, "Oh no. You know what? Forget it. Sinestro fails. Fuck it." What? Really? You go through all these pages explaining to me just how perfect the fucking White Lantern he is because he understands that the first aquatic mass of amino acids willed itself into being, and that was the beginning of the green. He understands all this shit, and when they got hungry, that was avarice, and when they couldn't get a proper mate, that was fucking rage, and all this other horse shit. And while I did appreciate these big splash pages, he gets less than a full book of being the most important one, and technically they split over to 8 here, and they say, nah, it's okay, we're gonna let the rest of everybody else take it from here. Now there's a core of the resurrected ones, and they're the ones going to take over. We don't need Sinestro. He didn't die. Fuck it. Threw me way off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Threw me way off. Although, again, with the big splash pages, that's a great, great page.
No, the art's been thrilling throughout. And I enjoyed the writing for the most part. Now, what do you think of what they brought back after all that?
You mean whom?
Exactly.
Well, I'm not surprised by any of it, but I am supremely disappointed that Ted Kord's not back. I really am.
I would have liked that. I would have liked more surprises in it, though. I mean, give me. You have it right there. Read the list off.
Let me find the actual panel with all of them in it. I'm finding it, really. Where the hell is it?
It's Reverse Flash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's the big flip open holy crap thing.
There you go.
Hank Hall, Hawk, Ted Kord, Reverse Flash, Jade, and Digger fucking Harkness.
Well, of course.
No, not of course. of course, when it comes to Captain Boomerang, he could have gone until the end of the apocalypse not coming back, and I would never have shed a fucking tear.
I love Digger Harkness.
You would.
Not a nice thing to say.
And they even rebuilt him so he didn't look like a pathetic fat fuck. Firestorm, which is now going to be a triumvirate, I guess.
No, it's half and half. It's half of the first team and half of the second team.
Which is just, what? Martian Manhunter, which we all expected.
Yeah.
How are you going to get anywhere without John Jones? But I'm hoping he's a little less jackassy now. I'm hoping death has brought him a lighter perspective to things.
Yeah, that's generally not how that goes.
Well, there's Arthur Curry, who now has both hands back. Thank fucking Christ.
Come on, he had a hook.
No, it was lame. I'm sorry, Mr. David, but what was he going to do with one fucking hand? Anyway, the Hawks, which are the original Hawks, with Qatar Hall and Shiera.
That I liked. That's
good. That's fine. Dead Man in a very peculiar state. It's going to be interesting seeing how he handles things being alive again. And what was it? Osiris? Really? That's what you got? You couldn't give me Ted. Why couldn't you give me Ted?
Dude, not even Ted. Where you couldn't give like any of the dozens of villains,
like
anybody. The Trigger Twins.
What did I tell you about the Trigger Twins?
Scarface.
Scarface I'd have taken. I'd have dug having Scarface back. That'd have been fine.
Any of them. Honestly, throw a couple of curves in there.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Reverse Flash and Maxwell Lord. It's all major art but
you know, I really would have been happier with Ted.
You've made that point.
They could have taken anybody else they wanted back. As long as I got Ted, I'd be like, that's fine. Do what you want. I'm not going to buy their fucking books anyway.
What, you're not excited to have more Aquaman and Martian Manhunter books out there?
You know, if they really could do something... You know, Martian Manhunter really could be a funny Spock. And I would buy that book. Abso-fucking-lutely.
A funny Spock.
Sure. Who eats Oreos.
You didn't enjoy Martian Manhunter Jazz, the Elite miniseries from like 15 years ago?
No. There was a Batman Jazz as well.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of then.
But no, I know the one you're talking about, the Prestige edition.
Ah, yep.
The square bounds. I know what you're talking about. No, I didn't dig it. But, you know, he did do a good job when he wasn't being a complete jackass, like in, you know, OMAC Project. Oh, Ted, we went on many missions together and you fucked up. Get out of my satellite. Oh, thanks, John. Good to know the sentiment runs deep. Come on. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to go through the rest of these books. We're an hour and a quarter. I think we can make it through without these. What do we think?
I think you got to have something for next time.
I'm taking these home and putting them in fucking bags. These are not next time. All right, kids, you know what would be helpful to us? What would be helpful is suggestions from all three of you about what we should do for our big 50th coming up.
Huey, Louie, and Mike.
Huey, Louie, and Mike. Andrew, Julio, and John. They're the only three people I can confirm that aren't blood related to download this fucking thing. So, we'll do, let's say...
Didn't that sound like a Fox sitcom, Andrew, Julio, and John?
It does. I don't want to try to figure out the premise of it, though. Hook us up, man. Tell us what you'd like. I'll give you 95% of what you want, because there's no way I can already think of things that you guys might suggest, and I'm not doing most of them. So I'm going to take 5% shaved right off the fucking top of, things I won't do for your suggestions. But think of something geeky, not suggestive, but I mean, we'll try to make it funny for you. We'll try to make sure you enjoy it. But give us something to work from here. Thanks. Other than that, Rev, you got anything?
Bless you, fuckers.
Have a great night.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.